What's going on, everybody? Sausage here. Picture this. You're a fallen angel, tossed into hell, but instead of fire and brimstone, you get fluorescent lighting and mandatory coffee breaks. This is Red Tape, a game where eternal damnation looks suspiciously like a 9 to 5. So, what's the deal with the celestial mix-up? Why are you here, and what's actually going on? Let's talk about that. So, you play as a fallen angel, cast down to hell, but as it turns out, hell isn't fire and brimstone. It's actually cubicles, copy machines, and soul-sucking bureaucracy. After arriving in hell, you determine that there must have been some sort of mistake because you never betrayed God, and you just want to clear up this misunderstanding so you can go back to heaven. So you're just trying to talk to the right people, or demons, technically, to prove your innocence. No one believes you, of course, and so you're sent on these little fetch quests in an attempt to talk to different supervisors so that you can straighten everything out and leave. But as you play, as you go deeper, you realize something's off. There's a bigger mystery buried under all that paperwork. And that's where the game really shines. It hooks you in with comedy, but then starts dropping hints that not everything is as it seems. As for the gameplay, think of it as a narrative-driven walking sim that also has a fetch quest element to it. This demon wants something, so you go talk to a different demon who needs you to find an item, so you rinse and repeat, and that's the entire game. It sounds repetitive, and it kind of is, but there's a charm to it. You're kind of caught in this ridiculous loop that honestly fits the setting perfectly. I will say the game doesn't hold your hand, there's no waypoints, there's no glowing arrows, it's just a quest tab in your own brain. For example, at one point I needed blood for a vampire, but I thought, where do you get blood in hell? Well, turns out it's in a water cooler, the red ones, naturally. The game forces you to think outside the box, and honestly, that made me appreciate the design a little bit more. But then the ending. Oh boy. Out of nowhere, the game throws a boss fight at you, and it's inside of a courtroom, and it's a platformer where you're literally supplying evidence mid-trial. It's not hard, but man, it caught me completely off guard. Like, did the walking sim just turn into a Phoenix Wright meets Mario? It wasn't really that difficult, but it was completely out of the blue and unexpected. Moving on to the graphics and art, the game nails a PS1 style 3D environment perfectly with low poly, grainy textures and that retro charm. But the kicker? Every character is a 2D cutout of a real person's photo. It's weird, it's unique, and somehow it just works.
It just works.
You've probably seen other games try this style, but Red Tape pulls it off better than most. It feels like you're stuck in a corporate fever dream directed by David Lynch, and that's a compliment. Lastly, let's talk about the time, the price, the value. Red Tape costs $6 on Steam, and it took me just over 2 hours to beat. I grabbed 12 of the 14 achievements, and from what I can tell, the other 2 probably won't affect the story, so unless you're a 100% completionist, don't sweat it, you've probably seen the whole thing. With all of that said, Red Tape earns a sausage rating of 7.8 sausages out of 10. The story is funny, the world is absurd, and the mystery actually had me invested by the end. The fetch quest loop does start to wear thin about 3/4 of the way through, but honestly, it doesn't overstay its welcome. I will say that the game has some minor plot holes, but the dev turned those plot holes into jokes, and I respect that. Such as one character hands you an important item and says, "I've been holding onto this for no reason, you can have it." Does that make sense? Nope. Is it funny? Absolutely. It's creative, it's bizarre, and it knows exactly what it's doing. I will say that if the game were $4 or $5, it would feel like a sweet spot, but even at full price, it's honestly not a bad deal. Only a couple extra dollars, so if you really want to wait for a sale, maybe wait until it's about 25% off, but again, $6, a little bit high, but not going to break the bank. If you like story-driven indie games with weird humor and retro vibes, well, this one's worth clocking in for. If you've played this game before, let me know what your thoughts are, and if you haven't, well, don't forget to fill out your forms before descending. And that's my review of Red Tape. If you got this far, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a little comment below, but if not, just know that I appreciate your viewership nonetheless. I also stream on Twitch occasionally, I have a Discord for both content creators and casual viewers alike, and I'm a Steam curator, so consider following me on all of those platforms as well. I'll leave a link to everything in the description below. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut my review here. Mahoney out.